Hi guys. I got some bad news, but I'm going to explain in this video everything. Bridget and I just got home from Eek Acres. Today was the walkthrough, and the broker was there, and he came in with a cleaning crew. Now we knew he was going to do this, but the broker did not know Bridget and I knew he was coming in with a cleaning crew. The lawyer never told Mike that we knew. So he came in and he showed us the house, and a bunch of stuff is missing. This time, the crew took even more stuff that's supposed to go with the house, so there's even less at the house than there was. I'm talking appliances. And in the contract, on the day of the auction, when Bridget won the auction, it says that you accept the place as is, where is. That means when the tank was there to heat the house, when the appliances were in the basement and the kitchen, when the doorknobs were still on the doors, when light fixtures were still in the ceilings, and so on. Stuff just kept coming up missing. Less and less and less stuff. So I told the broker in the living room, and I says, I want to tell you something. I says, number one, I said, you were in breach because it's in the contract that the deal was to close on the 19th of October. By 4 o'clock. Before or on the 19th, by 4 p.m. on the 19th. And I says, and you went a week beyond that. And I says, and that was breach number one. And he agreed. He says, yes. He says, we were in breach on that. I said, here's breach number two. I says, anytime you accept something as is, and then you go back and it's no longer as is as it was, and now there's less, I said, that's a breach of contract. He says, no, it's not. He says, they always take the tank when tenants go, and they, and it was their appliances, and they took them. The reason why we know that's bullshit is because he doesn't know we were there yesterday and took pictures and video, and the appliances were there. Today, his cleaning crew took it. And Mike also said to us, look how nice and clean they left the place. Boy, you got lucky. The tenants could have really left this a mess. Not knowing we were there yesterday, and I got everything on video of all the junk in the yard and all the shit in the house and took photos. The place was absolutely full. The basement was full. So he lied to us again. And I told Bridget, I says, we're dealing with nothing but a habitual liar and a con man. They turned the power off when we said we wanted the power left on and just transferred into her name because she's the buyer. There was no mention that the tank would be taken. I says, that's like if I bought a car as is, and then I went back to pick it up and now the wheels are missing. It's no longer as is as it was when I bought it. Am I right or am I wrong? You guys comment down below and tell me how that is, how that works. I'm under the impression when something says as is, it stays as is as you see it when you buy something. It isn't changed when you go back later and it's no longer as is. Now it's as worse. So I told him, I said, you have breached this contract twice. And I says, let me give you a little bit of advice on adding a clause to your contract on what specifies on what stays and what doesn't. He says, I don't need your advice. And he was throwing around the F word in front of Bridget. Very, very unprofessional for a broker who is selling a property to a auction bid winner that happens to be female, and he's throwing around the F-bomb. And he kept calling me son. I says, for one thing, I says, I'm not your son. I never swore at him. I never disrespected him or anything. And I says, I am not your son. The next word out of his mouth was, well, sir. Then he started calling me sir. Some bitch was trying to disrespect me. They lied about everything through this entire time. We wasted 9.5 weeks on this place and discovered it needed more and more and more. And I told Bridget, I says, Bridget, what are you really getting for the amount of money you're paying for this place? It needs literally everything. And I says, I'm not going to tell you what to do. This is your deal. You're a grown, educated woman. It's your say. I have no say in the matter. All I can do is give my girlfriend advice. But I will be damned if I'm going to let someone try to con my girlfriend out of a hell of a lot of money. 6 figures. And I told her, I says, the house needs everything. The grounds need a ton of work. The pole barn was built in 1976. I said, stuff is missing. Everybody keeps taking more and more stuff. He's lied to us time and time again. I says, for the amount of money that you were willing to pay for this place, I says, all those homes that we looked at throughout the entire summer that were turnkey and move-in ready cost less than this place. I said, think about what you're getting for your money. You're getting the worst possible condition of a place out of all the homes we looked at. The only thing that it had going for it was on a dead end with no neighbors and 6 acres of land. It's not worth 6 figures just for that. I am looking out for my girlfriend. People have accused me that Bridget is stuck with a loser, a user, somebody that's tagging along looking to get something for nothing, and that's not the case. If that was the case, I'd have let Bridget buy this without me interfering at all, without me saying anything. I was looking out for her best interest. And I told Bridget, I says, honey, I think you are going to find that there is problem after problem after problem with this place because everything keeps changing. Their stories keep changing. They kept moving the goal line. We need more time. Now we need more time. We need more time again. Then it'll be next week. Then it's going to be 2 weeks later. They kept giving us a bunch of stories, stalling and buying time. Meanwhile, things were coming up missing. Things were disappearing. And they turned the power off and took the fuel tank. There's no way to heat the house. And we got a freeze coming by the end of this week, which is going to cause the pipes to rupture. I says, we need to contact a propane company ASAP. And so we did. We both did. We called local propane companies around here, and there's only a handful of them. Because it's getting almost to be Halloween and very, very close to our first snowfall, they are backed up with all their customers dealing with heating issues. And new people, which would be us, as a new customer, are backed up way on a back burner. They said we could be looking at 2 weeks before a tank could be supplied, hooked up, checked, and filled. And we told them, we said, it's going to freeze in the next 2 weeks. They said that's the soonest we could do it. So now we face the pipes rupture. I told Bridget, I said, enough is enough. I said, you will get refunded. And I says, they have voided the contract, forfeited it twice. You have a legal case, and we got all the photos and video for a judge to see that there's just a line sticking up in the air and the tank is missing, and now the appliances are gone, the doorknobs are gone, the light fixtures are gone, the shower head is gone. I just said, you guys forfeited. I said, there is nothing like how we saw it when we first saw this house. But he wanted to be an asshole, swear in front of Bridget, and then storm off in his vehicle and speed out of the driveway. I told Bridget, I said, I saved you the biggest headache that you could have ever taken on. This guy was trying to take advantage of her, but in the nick of time, it might have been a blessing that those people took the tank. Because I just saved Bridget a huge headache in a house that has no power, no gas, freezing cold inside, appliances missing, the tank is missing, doorknobs, fixtures, stripped off the grid house, and just, here it is, give me your money, take it. And I told Bridget, I says, I'm not telling you what to do, and I'm not making up your mind. I says, if you want the house, honey, you can get it. But I says, if I were you, I'd walk away from this because you're already in the clear and in the right because they breached their agreement twice. And we have a copy of the contract. I have a thumbnail of the clause in paragraph 12 of where it says so. And he knew it. And he admitted to it. And boy, was he pissed. But I wasn't going to let Bridget be left holding the bag with a nightmare that she'd have to deal with for the rest of her life. I wasn't going to let that happen. I love her too much and care about her too much to let that happen. I want her to be happy, and all I can do for her is do all the work for her and make the place as beautiful as possible on whatever place she buys. But this place, I think, was a money pit, and it had way more problems than met the eye. And I think I just saved her a huge, huge unwanted headache. I'm sorry, you guys, but the hunt continues, and we will find another place because I don't want her to lose what it took her a lifetime to get. Thanks for watching, you guys, and we'll see you again in the next one. Bye-bye.